I have no idea what I'm going to do, but I decided to get my master's in education. And I started this process of going, okay, you know what? This looks like a massive mountain to do this all on my own. What are again, where do I want to go? Backward plan lists all of the education that I need in order to accomplish it. Check the boxes one by one as I'm accomplishing and learning pieces and adding pieces to this massive mountain of information that I need, and just start moving forward. My brother is very supportive. He's actually a sales coach, and he basically said, Jess, do one thing every single day toward your goal. And normally that one thing turns into 5 every day, because once I get that one thing done, I'm motivated to keep checking boxes. And so I just have this running list of constant to-dos, and I start checking the boxes and start moving forward. And it is hard some days because I'm like, I'm checking boxes, but I don't see any change. But you know what? I have to think about the big picture and think about how far I've come. And do I really want to almost give up and go back to regular 9 to 5? No, I don't. I don't want to do that. I'm going to keep trucking along and keep moving forward throughout all the struggles and the challenges, and I'm going to make it work.
Oh, outstanding. So you were mentioning that you were an English teacher. What compelled you? Was there like a big aha moment that compelled you to decide, you know what, I'm going to be a curriculum designer? Was there like this big light bulb moment?
There wasn't. No. But I look at, okay. Yes, there was a moment where I realized I was capable of so much more. Mm-hmm. But now looking back through my whole career as an English teacher, I realized I was writing original, attractive, engaging curriculum the whole time. And, you know, there is a difference between, there are people who are teachers only and they use other people's curriculum. And there's people who are curriculum developers. Mm-hmm. But I happen to be both. I happen to be a teacher and a curriculum developer. But I realized looking back, I'm like, I have been doing this the whole time. Even when I was at home with my daughters, I was writing curriculum. I was reading books. I was writing out how I would teach this to people. Did I ever teach it to people? Not really. But I have books and books and books of all of this curriculum that I could not stop myself from creating. It just came so naturally, in a sense, to me. Once I learned the strategies on how to do it, it just exploded. And as writers, those people who are listening who are writers, you might know that sometimes it takes you a while to admit you're a writer. It's not like you, just because you write a lot, you're like, oh, I'm a writer. You feel insecure about saying that. You know, you go through this process of writing and writing and writing, and then you're like, okay, well, at this point, should I actually admit it to people? Because if I admit it to people, people are going to expect something from me. And that's where I had to make that turning point of going, okay, I'm a writer and I'm a curriculum writer at that, which is even smaller of a percentage of us writers. So I don't really meet very many of us. So that moment of just saying, you know what, I'm going to walk and I'm going to be who I am and just know this is who I am. I'm a curriculum writer, and that's what I do.
Oh, perfect. So other than what you're currently doing, is there maybe some other profession, you know, kind of in the back of your mind that you'd like to try at some point in life?
Well, like I mentioned before a little bit about being the background person, the curriculum writer for Bible studies. I guess my ultimate dream job would be to be a curriculum writer for someone as big as someone like Beth Moore, who is one of the most popular Bible study teachers in the Christian world. If I could become the background person for that, and you know what, I'm going to be really honest, and I always dismiss my teaching abilities because I would rather be in the background, and I would say, you know what, I'm not going to completely rule out possibly being the teacher. because I do have that skill. I have that ability. At this point, it's scary to ever admit that's a possibility, but I'm not going to completely rule it out.
Oh. That's good to know, huh? Kind of keep my eyes out in the bookstores because I might actually see your face on a book someday.
Maybe.
So what would you say, Jessica, is your greatest strength?
I think being able to filter through people's chaos, in a sense, ideas, and package it into achievable tasks. One of the things that I have a kind of a video series, and I've only done a few of them so far, but I have this series called Chaos to Course. So basically what I do is I take people's mind maps and I transfer it into an online course, and I create an outline for an online course. So all they do is look at it and go, oh, these are the modules. This is what I have to teach on. I can do that. And so whenever they see that, the idea is that they're going to be able to video it and publish it pretty quickly because I've done all of the narrowing down of the pieces. So I think that whenever people have ideas, I kind of joke and I say I'm the Terminator of curriculum, because as you're talking, I'm organizing the information into manageable pieces. So I kind of joke about that. Like, my mind can't stop. It just does it automatically.
So the flip side of that, obviously you probably know where I'm going with this. What is your greatest weakness then?
A lot of the business side of being an entrepreneur. I sometimes the reason why I want to quit is because of the business side. Having to convince people that I know what I'm talking about, that the information I will give them will help them. I kind of feel sometimes like this whole online platform is difficult because I believe that I'm charismatic enough to speak to people and show them what I do. That once you sit down with me and see the process that we go through, you're going to be like, oh yes, I do need that. But the whole, all the details and the business side are really overwhelming sometimes, to the point where I'm like, and that's where I have to outsource. I have to say, you know what, I can't do it. I need someone to help me. I need a sales coach. I need someone to do the technical pieces and walk me through the accounting and just those details that can be insanely overwhelming for someone who's a literature major and not a business major.
Yeah, and there's wisdom in recognizing that too. So I'm glad to hear that you do recognize that within your own world, that that's something that you have to take advantage of other people, and use their gifts in those areas. When you're getting your ideas though, for course creation or what have you, is there a special place that you go to get your ideas? Some people is maybe just taking a walk in nature, or some particular special spot that they go to get ideas. Where's that for you?
Away from my daughters. I guess as a mom, you're like, I don't really have a whole lot of time to think. Yeah, I live in San Diego, so normally I'll go sit at a coffee shop that has a lot of people that are just, coming and socializing with each other. Sometimes I go for a walk on the beach, the boardwalk, just to get away from everything. But really, it's wherever I have quiet time. The beauty of me doing what I do is it really doesn't take me that long. So once I get in the mode, I can whip out, a bunch of content within a very short time period. But it probably in my office is my most efficient place.
So if you're to describe for people, maybe maybe there's somebody out there that's listening to the program today that would want to, they themselves become a course creator, and you're describing what you do in your business at a very high level. How would you describe that?
I know this sounds simple, but can you ask that again?
Describing at a very high level the process behind what you do in your business for someone who's wanting to follow in your footsteps.
Follow my footsteps. You know what? I'm going to say that it is, I have not gotten to that level to teach someone what I do. I actually tried, and it's almost like actually writing courses. So if I'm going to teach someone how to be a curriculum developer, it's almost too much for me to be able to manage, to teach them how to do what I do. But in a simple form, I would say always start out with where the client or you want to go. Where do you want to go, and what do you want to do with the information? Break it down to small, achievable pieces and fill in the gaps. So all of those, I guess that's the very simple formula, is where do you want to go? What are the steps to get there? And fill in the information.
That's fair enough, because that gives people kind of an idea of what they would have to do in your shoes, so to speak. So and if you can tell us, this is kind of a trivia question here for you, Jessica. Tell us something about you that most people don't know.
That's a good one. What do most? I'm like a I wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm pretty straightforward. So what is something people don't know about me? I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. Let's see. I'm at a blank. I like I said, I kind of wear my heart on my sleeve. I tell people almost everything that I'm thinking. I am who I am. That's pretty much it. I don't try to be mysterious, and sometimes that's to my detriment because I tell people exactly what I'm thinking and how I'm thinking it. And sometimes people are uncomfortable with that. So I have to work on the balance.
Yeah, I can very much relate with that, because that's how I operate also. Is I don't beat around the bush. I don't hold back. I don't pull punches. I'm very transparent that way. So
yeah.
And so for the favorite question, since you are a former Marine, and we'll wrap up our time today with the wonderful Marine question. If you were to be a new color of crayon, what color would that be, and how would you describe that color?
A new color. So I have to make up a new color.
Yeah.
The crayon question. Well, I always, if I don't know exactly what it would be, the actual color, but if I could describe it in a way, it would be the color of nature. Okay. I think that if you can combine the colors of green and blue and yellow without it becoming brown and ugly brown, and just having that highlighted color, I would love that color, because I love anything that has to do with nature and green and the growth that represents that. If I'm going to be all philosophical instead of marine.
Yeah, so you're not going to go into the flavor of the color then, I take it.
The flavor of the color. I don't know. I've never tried the color. Well, I guess I did whenever I was little. It's all wax.
Okay, Jessica. Well, it's been a great, entertaining session to have you on today. and certainly enlightening to hearing what a little bit about what you do and what